What up, it is your boy Sidiso, T-S-I-D-I-S-O-D, so the bigger deal. And with the fix, we are talking mental health awareness. It is the month of October, but it's always an ongoing conversation. You know that a lot of people who actually deal with anxiety, stress, depression, the list goes endless. The statistics are extremely high for the number of suicides committed on a daily and on a yearly basis. But as you can tell, we're out here at the University of Cape Town to talk to some of the students, finding out exactly how they deal with anxiety, how they actually have any coping mechanisms in place, and what actually really, as in really stresses them out. So come along with me. We're going to talk to some of the students, find out exactly what mental health actually means to them and how they cope and deal with anxiety. Stick around, it's going to be quite an interesting conversation. Ofensa, thank you for taking the time to actually speak to us. Now, as I mentioned, we are talking about mental health awareness and anxiety. First of all, when I mention mental health, what comes to mind?
It's good and bad, because sometimes it can be like, oh, laziness of how I think of mind, and it's also like, oh, maybe I'm not feeling the greatest today. So it's just one of the two worries.
You at the top of your mind, I say mental health, and you think?
I think of something that is very overlooked. I think people look at it as something that is dark and very sad, but I think when you deal with it, you go through it. So maybe it's like a good thing that comes in the, you know. I can become more aware of yourself.
Very
what
true.
you don't like, what you like, what is for you, you know, that will perhaps the big things that come in part. That's
Academics can show you things, but apart from academics, in fact, whether it's academics themselves, what is it that really gets you anxious, if you get anxious at all?
I think being in big social crowds, a lot of people and personalities,
Yes.
and all that can be very overwhelming, you know, and draining. It drains your energy, so you become more socially anxious.
So I tend to go for a run, I walk, I have a wellness journal that I journal to every single day. But how do you cope with anxiety? Do you have any coping mechanisms in place to help you actually deal with it?
When that occurs, specifically academic stress, like I tend to just capture something on work. I value that break that I take, whether it's a day, 2 days, 3 days. If it's teaching my mental health, I'm okay. That's how I do. And just surrounding myself with good people that makes me feel good about myself in that stage of growth. You know, good quality people, you know, and when they by speaking loud and you know, all those things.
Just being someone who has compassion, because it's something that very is scarce in this world, and people have to deal with the various things that make them anxious or put them in a state where their mental health happens to be challenged. You as a student, certainly exams, having to deal with assignments that need to be submitted, that can really be stressful. How do you as an individual actually cope with that?
I feel like, as you said, like you were like, is it like social anxiety or like academic? I feel like I don't really suck here from somewhere. I'm an extrovert, so like I take a lot with other people. And like academics, I feel like I don't really struggle with my academics. I get moderate marks and those kind of things that I suffer with is emotional anxiety. You know what I mean? So like, is this basically when I suppress my feelings? For example, you say something that hurts me. I'm like, I feel some type of way. Okay, I'm feeling sadness. I'm not going to tell you, okay, what you said. You know what I mean? I'm just going to go home. I'm going to think about it. I'm just going to make cry myself to sleep, you know? Yeah. So emotional and like a bills.
Are you someone who actually have coping mechanisms maybe in place?
Yes. A lot of them, they change over the years, but mostly that I find that being my friends and it helps me in most of my stress out of anxiety that I have faced. Upcoming assignments and exams are coming out, so I find myself having all these my friends more so often. And then when I do need to focus and when I need to take a break from social interactions, because that can also get a lot.
Oh, definitely.
I find myself, I'll do art, I'll draw, I'll create for hand and I'll crochet maybe. Because I feel like to be creative, then it's like I'm doing something I want to do, and I'll be able to do something that's required on the day on.
Apart from only just exams being the one thing that could possibly affect you or maybe stress you out, is there anything else that possibly stress you out, make you feel anxious?
It was not academic anxiousness or anxiety, I get social anxiety. because I'm just like, oh, it's a lot of people understand, but like, everyone's looking at me, I'm filming here.
And
What I'm trying
certainly,
to-
she's right about that, because there's a certain portion of UCT that you walk up, and trust me, it doesn't matter how brave you are or confident, you're going to feel it.
You're going to feel it. I'm feeling it, but you see what I'm saying? Something's making me feel better, so I feel better.
Certainly. And right there, you heard it from her yourself. Our friends are taking the time to talk to us, the fix, about mental health awareness, her anxieties, how she copes with them, any kind of coping mechanisms she has in place. Because we all do know, it's okay to not be okay.